Hey everyone, welcome to part 2 of the Chain Soldier collab. So we've got a couple of new units and some updates on the events as well. Therefore, let's start with the new units that we got. First one is Tenka. Tenka is an assault type unit with maximum mobility once she is fully maxed out with her skills, her gear, and affinity. She's getting 50% from her skill, and in addition she has a lot of passive, or her base stats have a lot of mobility on it naturally, and then she has a gear piece that is mobility. I'll show you that a little bit later, but she can get 100% mobility from there, and then combined with another skill that gives her 100% damage reduction when dodging. So this makes her a very durable DPS unit. I don't know how much damage she actually does, but her having high survivability is a very nice thing. However, you do need to invest a lot of skill ups to get her to this point. I will go over that in a little bit later. Additionally, she has charm and control immunity, which is very good. All these skills are great for PvP. And also they're actually quite nice for some PvE areas too. Like Moon Abyss, she can actually be used as a dodge tank because of the 100% damage mitigation, and allow her to tank in Moon Abyss, right? Of course, there are some true damage units that you'd be careful of, but otherwise, any other unit that does normal damage, she can tank those. Her attack range is quite basic, just a single target. But overall, I think she's quite good. She does do some extra damage here if the targets are below 50%, and this scales with her mobility as well. She applies a mark similar to units like Pressure, and then when she reapplies it or it gets dispelled, it will do pop damage, or if it's it expires as well, right? And that is scales off mobility and ignores damage resistance, which is quite good. Of course, damage resistance is a very good stat in PvP, of course, that you can gain from Lena, and units like Mira have natural damage resistance, so that is helpful against those type of units. Alright, so that is Tenka, and then we have Shushu. Shushu is a guard unit. She has an auto taunt, and I feel that she might power creep out Nastia. I would say because she has more utility than Nastia, and I would have to see how she performs in battle, because the unfortunate thing with Nastia is that she dies quite easily to everything. All heavily invested damage deals can pretty much kill Nastia. But I think Shushu has a better chance. She has high resistance, and therefore maybe only Belina might be problematic for her. But she has a bit of utility with the where is it? Armor. There's an armor reduction here. I believe this probably can only target one unit actually, because it procs at the start of the battle, and then it's whatever the target, right? Or actually no, it's probably more. It's I guess it's whatever is in this range. So you could probably hit a few units, and with a lot of the tank clumps that people run, this could be quite nice to have in your team. And you can, well, I guess people will probably place units like Finesse and their auto taunts in the front, and then put the armor tanks in the back, maybe, to avoid this. However, it gives you some extra gameplay against units that have high armor, like Mo and Jaksui, those sort of units, if they happen to be in the front of their field, right? She also heals herself when she gets attacked. It only procs once per turn, but that is nice. 20% of her own HP is pretty good because she has very high base HP, and then she does a bit of extra damage if if she's below 50%. Before own action, if own HP is below 50%, yeah. And that is this formula is a bit odd. Proportion of missing HP times the target's max HP. So I think it scales based off her missing HP and then the enemy's maximum HP. That's a bit of a strange scaling. I don't know how much damage that would actually deal, but this is implying that she survives an attack and sitting below 50%, which is probably going to be quite rare, but I guess it is possible. But I think she is a pretty good auto tank for PvP. For PvE, I don't think she's that good, but I mean, she's a taunt unit, so it's never bad. But let's go over the skill ranks and like the main breakpoints for them, right? Now, just to show you, Tenka here has base 40% mobility. That's including 5% from her affinity. Her gear, she has a mobility piece. I believe that should give you 10%. And then combined with her skill at rank 6, I believe, yeah. So at rank 6, she'll get 50% additional mobility, and then combined with her other stats that you saw before, that is 100% mobility. So that is one breakpoint. This is where you get her max mobility. However, your damage reduction is still not 100%. You do take 10% damage still. At rank 7, she gains her charm immunity. So this is probably the most important breakpoint. Of course, you'll be getting the mobility like at this point as well anyway. But I think if you're going to use it in PvP, this is a very nice thing to have against Crim, and therefore I'd say this is the bare minimum. And then at rank 9 is when she gets her 100% damage reduction from dodging, and of course this is really the place that you want to be. This makes it quite expensive to invest into if you want to make her useful. However, if you are willing to spend enough books to get her to rank 9, then she's a very strong PvP unit with all these skills. Okay, now Shushu's, she has a lot of base HP. She has like 3 resonance gear that are all HP percent, and she gets a lot more HP from this as well, and a bit of armor. Now for her skills, I believe rank 6, no, okay, rank 7 is when she gets an auto taunt that lasts for the entire round, because there should be 9 units on either side. Oh, I guess this is mostly for PvP, right? In PvE, there can be more units on the enemy side, and therefore she may not taunt for the whole fight. But for PvP at least, this will be enough for auto-taunting the entire round. But at rank 9, she has the infinite taunt, which is more useful for like PvE areas like Moon Abyss, where there can be a lot more enemies, right? And then at rank 10 is when she gains the highest damage reduction and also the highest armor reduction. However, she does gain this, both of these are rank 6, and I think at rank 8 there's like a slightly stronger one here, right? But yeah, at the very bit minimum, if you're leaving her at rank 7 for the auto taunt, you still at least get 10% armor reduction, which is enough to even push through a T-Starry to kill a unit, most likely. So that is quite useful utility. Right, so that is Tenka and Shushu for the remaining collab units, right, for this event. Now for the side story, the last couple of chapters are now unlocked, so you can do those. They're very easy. Additionally, you can now do the next 3 stages of the Behemoth trial. Hopefully, you've only been doing like a 5-time sweep from the past couple of weeks, because this is much less materials than sweeping Hell, of course, right? So now at this point is when you would be sweeping more of your stamina to get the extra currency to help you clear out the shop, right? Now this boss is not too hard. Just run your standard raid teams, a taunt unit, some buffers, and then any single target DPS should be able to kill it. And yeah, then you want to be clearing out all the shop now. Therefore, just keep in mind you may have to use like a decent amount of stamina to clear this out. Just pay attention to how much what you have remaining, right? And then try to do at least 5 runs every day. And we then have the Joint Crusade, which is the boss we had in the side story, the Behemoth. And this boss is quite easy. I will do a separate video for it and show you some like an easy team that you can use to clear it. And those are the events for part 2 of the sides or the collab event, right? Unfortunately, we didn't get a freebie summon for Tenka and Shushu. I was hoping they would, because that would mean that we only have to pull for 1 unit on each of the 2 weeks and reduce the amount of like strain on resources, right? However, yeah, unfortunately, if you want all the units, you will have to pull for both Shushu and Tenka, but I think they're both worth at least getting 1 copy. So that is my recommendation. Get at least 1 copy. If you are willing to whale, that's up to you, and how much you want to whale. That's you know, your choice on how far you want to take their skills. They do require a lot of skill ups to be useful, but I think it is worth like skilling them up. They'll have some use somewhere, right? I would say Nei, Shushu, and Tenka are all good. Himari is a bit underwhelming. I will get 1 copy just in case, but I don't think there's. I think it's very hard to build a heavy team still at the moment, and therefore I just wouldn't recommend skilling her up. So I would focus the skill ups on the other units depending on what areas you want to focus on. Nei is ideal for raids. I think she's probably the best support now, or at least one of the best supports. Tenka, great in PvP, useful in Rune Abyss. Shushu, great tank, useful for probably all content, to be honest, similar to Nastia. Alright, that is pretty much it for this week's update. So thanks for watching, good luck with your pulls, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.